gave me his business card, and a guy sitting beside me said, "You don't know who that is? That's Bobby Umar. His voice, he makes a room full of people, they'll do anything." So I'm very happy to have worked with him. He's done a lot to support us through this event. I was new organizing this, so he really helped me get everything together. So if you could welcome now to the stage, Bobby Umar.
All right, is my mic on? My mic's on? Okay, good. So, I am super pumped today. Let me tell you, normally when I speak at Impact, I'm on the first day, and I have to come in and I have to get people riled up, you know, in the morning stuff. But today I'm on the second day, and what happened was yesterday I had an amazing day. First thing I did was I saw The Social Network. Anyone see this movie? Okay, holy cow, after the movie I wanted to make $1 billion. It was awesome. And then I come to the last night, the gala, I met a bunch of people, and the next thing you know, I see this speech by Michael Hyatt. It was fantastic, and next thing you know what? I want to change the world. I'm so pumped up, so I'm so excited to be here. So I wrote down my goals, and hopefully the Impact people got that. So I'm very, very revved up about that. So I'm really excited about that. And let me just say, what am I going to talk about today? Well, I'm really going to talk about networking, branding, and we're going to have that big session. So it's going to be really, really exciting. Now, I know I saw a couple people that were kind of tired because people were partying last night. And as any entrepreneurs, we work hard, but we play hard. And that's okay. So let me just warm you guys up quickly. So we're going to play a very, very quick game of Simon Says, all right? Okay, can everyone stand up, please? Everyone stand up? Everyone stand up, please? Okay. So does anyone know how this game works? I'm going to show you how it works.
You didn't say Simon Says.
Okay, you're all out! Sit down. Those people who sat down, you're all co-winners. Congratulations. This table right here, table 8-5. Wow, no one stood up. Good for you. All right, have a seat, have a seat. Okay, there you go. All right, so let me get going. So before I even start, one of the things I'm going to mention is my Twitter address is Rehan Bobby, RAEHANBOBBY. Please either add me or mention it and tweet about the event because I'd love to get that. And I realize now social media is an important piece of the brand. So there it is. Please tweet away or add me or whatever you want to do, and that's great. Agenda for today, just introductions. We're going to talk about why networking is important, the power of networking. We're going to get into some tactics. Then we have the big activity. This is the main part of the day. Meeting Canada's entrepreneurs. There's a whole bunch of them out there. Make sure you ask lots of questions. And then we're going to finish off with some personal branding. And of course, don't forget, you need to always follow up. Networking is great. You make that connection. But to form the more deeper, more genuine relationships, it requires the follow-up. That makes sense? Okay. So let me just talk a bit about myself, my background. So one of my jobs I've done is I work at Unilever on Job Master Brand and the campaign Real Beauty, fostering positive self-esteem in young women. I'll tell you that I got that job through networking. I was actually performing in a musical, The Mikado, and the technical director worked at Unilever. I talked about my career, and next thing I gave her my resume, and 3 months later I got a job. Then Kraft Canada, I did marketing and cheese, and again, I got that through networking. I was a graduate, I'd been out of school for a year. I went back to the Career Service Center and said, hey, is there anything I can get involved with? And next thing you know, they hooked me up with somebody who worked at Kraft, who invited me to an information session, who then got me through the recruiting process, and I got a job. Bombardier, I was an aerospace design engineer as well, so that was way back in the day, so I had my iron ring. And I got a contact through a contractor to do some project management, and next thing you know, I got a full-time job through that networking piece. I also am a sketch comedy performer with Fade to Brown. In case you haven't seen Fade to Brown, we basically do sketch comedy, ethnic comedy like Russell Peters type stuff. And again, I got that through a network through one of my Second City colleagues. Then of course I started my own musical theater company called Marco Testing Society, and I grew that from 2 people to 140 people in about 4 years. How? Networking. And then of course I'm heavily involved in Shag Valley McMaster. Again, all that stuff. I was working in program managing and basically hiring people, and through that I through network. So for example, I met Kunal a couple years ago. I brought him to come in to speak. That's networking. And then of course now, as my own company, I do corporate training, motivation speaking, and I speak around the country on personal branding, networking, and connection. And again, 80% of my business is networking. So the main takeaway here is that it's a diverse career with a lifetime of networking. So that's why I'm here today, and that's why I'm so pleased to talk to you guys. So why do we network? I mean, there was networking on the other day too, but again, just a couple of refreshers here. I mean, we want to uncover opportunities, we want to enhance our credibility. It's less competitive, you know, it's very informal. So it's not like, you know, you're asking for a job, you're just sharing information, which is great. And getting that information is key. Now, the most important thing to networking is you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Why not do it? Now, you've all been here now for a day, and I guess a day and a little bit. Now, there was networking yesterday morning. Now, how many people have you met since then? I came here last night just for the dinner, the gala, and I met 50 people, and I got 20 business cards. And that was just in 4 hours. Now, if you haven't hit that, then you should ask yourself why. What's going on? So, you know, you have nothing to lose here, so make sure you make the most of it. You gotta want this. And of course, you know, it's easier to obtain meetings when you network. I mean, this is a more formalized setting, but of course, if you call people to just talk about networking, a lot of people are very open to it. And it may not get you a job, but you get referrals, you get information. It's the key to unadvertised positions. And again, less people use this approach. This is the 80-20 rule, right? 80% of jobs are found through networking, 20% are not. 20% of people network and 80% do not. So if 80% of jobs are found by 20% of people, what should you be doing? Networking. Make sense? So, 80-20 rule. Where do you want to spend your time? Now, networking is not asking for a job. As soon as you do that, there's you know, I don't have a job, I don't know. So please keep that in mind. I mean, the availability of a job is small anyway, but again, even people you know well, like a family member or a good friend, they'll shy away because like, I don't want to commit. I don't know. So be careful with that. It's about just talking and gathering information and sharing. And really, networking is not about take. I cannot tell you how many people spend all their time just taking. Can I have a copy of your resume? And can you forward me this thing? And then can you look at this thing? And then, you know, it's got to be mutual. My personal philosophy, and I heard it last night too, at the keynote, is about giving. It's about giving. Networking is about giving. You meet people and you're there to give. Now, some of you may say, particularly young people, what do I have to give? Young people, what do you have to give? Well, you have a lot of things. You have your youthful energy. You have your ideas. You have your challenging the status quo. You have your own networks. You have your own skill sets. You have things to give as well. And again, networking is about starting that beautiful relationship. It's about diving into a really great connection. So sometimes right here you might meet people high level, but later on it may develop into something much more in-depth and much more rewarding. So we're trying to get it's a beginning to a deeper, genuine connection. Now there's lots of strategies out there. Networking events, join organizations, practice, prepare to listen, give, one thing at a time, avoid touchy subjects. Don't want to get into politics, religion, or sex. I mean, I don't want to talk about that kind of stuff. Okay, so take good notes and follow up. These are all basic strategies. But to me, the biggest thing I want to share with you is you got to want it. Now let me explain what I mean by that. You got to want to network with people. I've been speaking for the last 3 years at Impact. I also speak at other conferences. And I will tell you, actually, Impact's a little bit better than other conferences. They're definitely a lot better because you guys are entrepreneurs, you're more inspired than the average conference. But I will tell you, last year, I spoke to 300 delegates. And I told them, come meet me afterwards, I'll be here all day, let's talk, let's share business cards, maybe we can follow up. Out of the whole group, how many business cards did I give out of 300? Any idea? I gave out 50. Of the 50, how many people actually followed up with me? 15. Of the 15, how many maintained a regular relationship with me? 3. 0.5, that's half a person? That'll be awkward. Which part? So 3 people. 3 people. Now when you think about 3 people, so that is what? What percent is that? That is 1%. 1% of all the people followed up and maintained a relationship with me. So of the 90% that didn't, why didn't you? You gotta want it. So even here in this session, I was watching people at lunch and people were networking, and some people are just holding back, they're not doing anything. You gotta want this stuff. So even here, ask questions. Do you have a question? Ask. If you don't get to it, go follow that entrepreneur. Chase them down the hall. I want to ask you this question. Chase, I don't care. You want to talk to me afterwards? Because this session won't allow for a question and answer period. So you have questions for me about networking and branding? Come talk to me. I'm here, but you gotta want it. Okay? And a lot of people say networking is about, I want to talk to you. That's my network, because I want to talk to you. What it should be is, I want you to meet me. Okay? You go out there, I want you to meet me. So let's talk about tactics. I'm all about, I like strategies, but I like to talk about tactics. Okay? The approach, how do you enter a group or conversation? For me, the magic word is, excuse me, or pardon me. There's a group of people here talking, I'm like, oh, hey, excuse me, sorry to interrupt, my name is Bobby Umar, how are you? Hey, how are you? Good to see you. Okay. So, excuse me, pardon me, or hi, my name is so-and-so. Those are magic words. Now, if they say, if you say, if I say, excuse me, sorry to bother you, like, go away! Okay, those are the people you want to. You know what? Okay, do you have issues? Let me go to another person. Totally fine. Okay, so that's what we have to do. Introductions are important. Mention your name. In fact, say it a couple of times. My name is Bobby Umar, and then when you leave, my name is Bobby Umar. And also, when you meet people, I like to repeat their name and say their name. Hi, John, nice to meet you. Okay, you know what? John makes a good point. Yeah, you know what? Good point, John. Here's what I think, John. That way, when they're done, you actually remember their names. Okay, so then there's the other part. Once you're in, now what? The art of conversation. So go with the flow, not against it. What does that mean? Well, every conversation has what we call beats of a conversation. This is similar to what I do in Second City sketch comedy. There's always a line, and then you follow another line. So when you want to interrupt or get, there's a group of, let's say, 5, 6 people, and someone says, one of the things I love about networking is to do this, beat. Someone else comes in. I've been networking for a long time, and I find it really hard because I'm so shy. Beat. So what you want to do is you want to get in on the beat. So then you say, oh, you know what, you're shy too? I'm shy as well. That's interesting. So how do you deal with it? Beat. And then you get in. Don't be like, one of the most important things that I really find difficult about networking. Hey, did you see the game last night? Who is this guy interrupting me? Don't interrupt people. So you want to go with the flow of the conversation. And you don't want to also say, okay, guys, this is really boring. Let's move on to another topic. Okay? Stick with the topic. You want to transition or segue. Try to do it in a little more informal way. And the previous speaker, Yannick, talked about asking the right questions. That is key. If you want to be a great leader, a great networker, you ask the right questions. And there's 2 parts. Asking the right questions, but also being courageous enough to ask questions to start. A startup question, a follow-up question. And then at the very end, we want to seal the deal. How do we do that? Well, you want to see if there's some sort of follow-up. Is there a follow-up? Is there a connection? Not everybody may have a mutual beneficial connection that you want to follow up, and that's okay. But if you say there is one, you should definitely follow up. And be sure to end the conversation. A lot of people, they just kind of stand there and then it's just awkward. That happened actually yesterday, last night at the gala. I was talking to 3, 4 people, and that person just was kind of, they didn't know how to lead, and so they just took off. Another person just kind of slowly stepped off. By the time there was this much difference, they're like, okay. So you want to make sure you end it in a nice way, okay? Because that means okay, that person clearly is afraid of me, or I smell bad, whatever he's gone. And then keep moving. You want to talk to quite a few people. I mean, here you are today at networking events, and it's great that if you find them amazing. Oh my God, we're like best friends. We're BFFs. I'm going to talk to you for a whole hour. But you know what? You're missing out on all the other people. So talk to the other people as well. Okay? You want to keep moving. And again, strategies are important in networking, but it's important to learn the tactics. Some other themes of Power Connecting. 50% of people actually say they're shy, so you should shelter shyness. Who here thinks they're shy? Put your hands up, please. You're going to be surprised to learn that some of the entrepreneurs here are also going to tell you they're shy. So if you're feeling shy, know that half the world is shy, and they would appreciate that you're willing to be bold. In fact, you should be bold. You have nothing to lose, you have everything to gain. When you engage a partner, smile. It's pretty hard to talk to them. They're like, so, hey, how are you? Fine. Okay. everybody has a story. So when you do the networking tonight, the entrepreneurs have their story, but they're also going to want to know about your story. What is your story? What is the story of Sana? What is the story of Kristen? What is the story of Dave? What is your story? You need to know what that is. And then again, be careful of turnoffs. No model. Don't talk about yourself all the time. If there are 6 people clearly there and you're talking for a long period of time, you should be aware of that because you're hogging the spotlight. Particularly in this session, it's a table talk. And again, don't interrupt. If you have to interrupt, it's got to be, again, be polite. Pardon me, excuse me. Sorry, can I make a point here? Because before we go on to the topic, that's okay. And then know when to stop probing. And some people they'll say, so what kind of entrepreneur are you? What's your insight? What are your biggest fears? Tell me about, do you have a boyfriend? Whoa, boyfriend, what? So, know when to stop probing. Don't probe too much. Okay. And again, the big thing with networking is network anywhere, anytime with anyone. I've networked with people in the grocery aisle. I've networked with people in an elevator. I networked with somebody actually on one of those benches in the TTC. I just sat there and started talking to her. It's totally fine. You should do that. So, let's get now to our networking activity. So here, what we're going to do, we're going to meet Canada's entrepreneurs. All right? And we're going to practice our networking skills live. And sorry, one more tip for you. A lot of you are kind of quiet. Okay, so that's fine. So I say, hi, what's your name? What? Okay, louder. Start out loud and then you can tone it down. But just try to be right away. Usually the way I do it, I'd like to think there's a fireball over there and I'm trying to warn. See, let's say there's a fireball about to hit Megan back there. And I'm like, fireball! What's your name? Bobby! How you doing? And watch the drop-offs. What's really important to you? Well, one of the things I find really important is that I like to hear. What? You missed the key part. Bring it up. All right. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to have different rounds. Each round is about 7 minutes long. I'm going to give the table a question. Then we'll let the entrepreneur go first, okay? And then we can leave it for some open discussion. And what I want you to think about too is, ask questions, but also try to leave an impression of your own personal brand. Think about what theirs are, their brand is, but also what your brand is, because we all have a personal brand. What's Bobby's personal brand? I'll tell you right now. I'm a super people guy. I'm all about being super honest, even though it gets me in trouble. And I'm all about what's the solution. Those are the 3 things that's part of my brand. So think about what that is. We're going to talk about that afterwards. And again, have fun. Please participate. If you're one of the people at the table that's not participating, you'll know because you haven't said anything. So please say something. Okay? We all know. We all know. All right, so let me start you off with a warm-up question. Entrepreneurs, you ready to engage these young people? Warm-up question. Oh, sorry, I should say here, key takeaway. You have to network the rest of your life. So you might as well practice now and often. This is the time, guys. You have to do it. And you may have to talk louder because there's lots of people talking. So it might be hard to hear. So talk nice and loud, lean in, get in there. So, first question, warm-up question. Who is your hero? A parent, a celebrity, influential person in one's life? I'll give you just 2 minutes to talk about this, and we'll move on to the next question. So, who is your hero? Entrepreneurs, go!